What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today I'm back, and we are getting to every single day videos, starting off with, of course, Unlock the Mock, because it's a nice little way to start building some momentum. We're going to be having a lot of fun stuff coming, including sports betting, which, if you guys use my underdog code, you guys get to be able to match up to $100 on your first deposit, and you get to help your boy out by helping me with a nice little $50 donation. But if you guys want to do that and make yourself some money and then help your boy out, feel free to do so. If you don't, still love you anyway. Let's get right into this, though. Obviously, summer's going to be a pain in the ass, but I made a promise to myself that every single day during the month of June, we're going to be dropping a video. So we're going to have some fun doing that. I'm going to try to bring on some more guests as well, and we have some huge projects in the work. I need to take some time off from this because y'all know how much YouTube can burn you out, especially when there's not a bunch of new content. So let's get right into this. Fantasy football also is going to be coming up because it's a big thing. So let's get right into this. Let's have some fun. This is released within the past week, and I wanted to be able to go over it because Sports Illustrated is a brand that I do have respect for. I'm not going to be reviewing, I'm not going to be going after just some grasping for some straws to get a new mock draft because there's no reason for it. Let's get right into this, though, starting off with the number one overall selection. Is this really what we're doing here? Is this really it? Okay, well, fuck it. We're going to be just talking about it like this. I was talking about how I respect Sports Illustrated. They don't even have breakdowns. What the fuck? Okay, pause. I didn't read this at all. What? JT Tumalau at number one. Absolute bonkers. Marvin Harrison number two makes sense. We're starting this off really poorly, guys. We're starting off this month really poorly, but that's okay. This is just a meme way to start. JT Tumalau, I do like him a lot. I think that he needs to be much more consistent with his game. We're just going to talk about the players and not the fact that they're being absolute morons, but, it is what it is. He had that game versus Penn State, extremely dominant, arguably one of the best games from a college defender last year. So love that for him. Obviously want to see that be able to tick up a lot more, but we've seen the potential. Now we've got to see the consistency. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a Hall of Famer in my eyes. I love him to death. I think he's going to be absolutely incredible. The Colts, if they are stuck at that pick, I think they're going to be going after a tackle. There's some really good ones in this class. I would love to see them take advantage of that and finish off their offensive line. Titans obviously would be going after. We don't need to be saying what they're obviously going to go after. We all know what they're going to go after. But if they decide not to go QB, Brock Bowers is not a bad option at all. I think that him being a nice receiving threat there, you could put him out as wide receiver as well, would be a good addition. They like to use their tight ends, and I think that'd be really awesome to see, even though I love Josh Wiley and Chigo Okonkwo. Bears going Barrett Carter. Again, if they're at that spot, no disrespect to Justin, but they're going to be going after a quarterback. Unless Caleb's gone, which I'm personally a little bit lower on Drake May than everybody else in the world, but we'll talk about that in a second. But Barrett Carter is still a very solid linebacker. I think the other guy, Jeremiah Trotter, is a better version of Barrett. So we'll see about that. I might be eating my words. Come draft time, Caleb Williams is the best player I think that I've ever seen. I was watching Jonah Monheim, and obviously you get to see all of Caleb Williams reps when you get to see all of his, and there's just something different. There really is something different. Now, could he potentially bust out because he's too good of a playmaker and he sometimes takes too much of risks to put his team in danger? Maybe. But I just don't think I've seen somebody besides like Patrick Mahomes. And it's a really cheap comparison, but I genuinely believe this guy has that talent level. I think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. He's better than any player that I've probably ever scouted. And I really do think he could be something that is beyond what we can expect from a normal draft prospect. So he's going to be incredible. Drake May, I just don't like the inconsistency of his accuracy. On Josh Downs' most epic route, and he did a whip route, you get to see it pretty much everywhere. If you look up Josh Downs, most likely that's the rep they're going to talk about. The ball's pretty much in the dirt, and he saves it. But that's just because Drake May randomly has really poor accuracy. And it was something I didn't like about Desmond Ridder. I'm not going to compare the two there, but it was an issue I had with that same style of quarterback, which is somebody who doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. Now, he can rip it. I think he can rip it better than Desmond Ridder even. And again, not even remotely in the same league. But I'm just talking about this one issue in terms of the inconsistent placement. I could not stand watching the receivers have to adjust in order to catch the ball properly. And according to Brett Coleman, which you guys could watch, the episode I did with him, it was the last one before this one, he was even saying that teams think Drake May could be almost as good as Caleb Williams. So obviously nothing is written in stone until we see more tape. It was his first year. There's going to be a lot of inconsistencies, but I think Drake May is a very solid quarterback. He just has more flaws than I think are mentioned elsewhere. Then you have Dallas Turner here. Edge rusher is going to be a pretty large need for Washington. I believe they don't have any of their top edge rushers as of next year. So we'll see what happens there. Emeka, I always love putting Ohio State receivers to the Patriots, but I think he might kind of be a little redundant there with Juju Smith-Schuster. I love Emeka Egbuka as this more bigger guy after the catch, just someone who could be more of a physical enforcer rather than the nifty Garrett Williams type. Olu Fashanu for the Rams is an amazing pick. Joe Alt for the Packers, I wouldn't blame him either. I think that with David Bakhtiari's injury consistency, or maybe you can just say health inconsistency, I think that would definitely be something I would be able to target. Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't know if a DB. I want to develop Kyer Elam if I'm going to be the Bills. I like Kool-Aid McKinstry. He is the top defensive back in the class to me. But, Kool-Aid, I just don't think that the Bills would be a location. And I don't know what type of crack. Why the fuck are the Bills here? I just realized that. Why are the Bills there? That makes no sense at all. I guess they said a trade. Weird that you're doing trades right now. And I assume they traded with the Bears. I don't know if that, that was the original Bears pick. Otherwise, it should say there was a trade there since it obviously was the Panthers pick. So I assume the Panthers are at 12 and they traded up. All right, you do whatever the hell you want. I don't think you should trade up for a DB. I think if you want to go offensive line, if Joe Alt or Olu Fashanu was there, it makes sense. Steelers join Rome Odunze. It would actually make sense if you do end up losing out on Deontay Johnson, or I should say we, since I'm a Steelers fan. If we don't have Deontay anymore, since it's up for a contract, it would be a good guy to replace him. Rome is very, very athletic, and I really like his game. I'm waiting for all 22 before I finalize my opinions on DBs and receivers, but from what I've seen so far, he's a very solid guy. I just really like Jalen McMillan. J.C. Latham is next. I'm not going to complain about the Raiders going and upgrading their offensive line as much as like Thayer Munford. I'm going to upgrade from him 10 out of 10 times. And J.C. Latham is the guy who I'm actually working on right now for his report. And man, his athleticism is awesome. I think he might be my tackle 2 in this class. But he's definitely going to be right tackle 1. That's what I've gotten so far. But we have some very good tackles in this class. I'm very excited for it. J.J. McCarthy, I saw it with him. I saw the it factor. But one, he's sub 200 pounds. He's lighter than Bryce Young. That's an issue. And you can see it too. He looks like a stick bug. But he also just has these really stupid reps. And I'm like, oh, come on, JJ. I think he needs another full year, if not 2, to be able to at least be considered an NFL quarterback. Because I know there's a lot of stands of JJ McCarthy. And granted, you can call me biased because I'm an Ohio State fan. But I like to have no bias when it comes to my evaluations. I just think JJ McCarthy is somebody who I don't exactly trust. And I saw the it factor. I can understand, but he needs to be a lot more consistent. I don't like Donovan Jackson. I think he was the worst part of the Ohio State offensive line last year, and by a good margin. I think Matt Jones, I think that's his name, is a better prospect than Donovan Jackson. I think he's just a little bit older than Donovan Jackson. Michael Hall Jr., I haven't studied the defensive interior enough yet, but from what I've seen and what I've heard, this is a very stacked defensive interior class. Don't think you need to be spending pick 17 on that. Pick number 18, Cooper DeJean. I'm not going to blame the Chargers for boosting up their secondary. He's over 6 foot and he's over 210 pounds. I think it's going to be a very good foundation to be able to put anywhere, even if you have to put him at safety. Makuba gained the respect he deserves. This team loves their safeties, but I think you have plenty of them on roster. Travion Henderson for the Giants. If you lose out on Saquon, I could see them going after one, but this is a solid running back class too. I'd definitely be willing to wait. Malik Neighbors. Malik is fun. He's fun, and obviously keeping him there. They went to LSU in the second round, I believe. Did they? No, I'm tripping. I'm forgetting who BJ Ojolari went to. Might have been the Panthers. Man, I'm tripping. Where did BJ go? Beats me. Regardless, it's been a minute. But Malik Neighbors going to Baton Rouge to pick up a wide receiver and keeping him in Louisiana would be always fun. I think wide receiver is certainly a position they should be targeting to get a nice wide receiver too. Mason Smith, honestly, I just wish he had more reps last year. I think on his first or second rep tore his ACL, but he plays edge at 300 pounds. You have to be a good athlete to be able to play at LSU with all those cats at 300 pounds. Braylon Trice is a beast. I think this is an excellent fit as well. Denzel Burke makes sense. I thought the Ravens should have went corner when, why am I tripping on people's names right now? Maryland corner from last year slipped to their spot. They went Zay Flowers instead, but I think they should have went after the corner. My personal thought. And now you're grasping at straws in a very weak corner class. Xavier Worthy is next. I think Xavier's awesome. I just want a bigger wide receiver like A.D. Mitchell from Texas to be able to step in and then complement the other receivers better. Quinn Ewers is going to the Jets. I think that is more than fine. You might have a little bit of the same issues that you have had before, but I don't think Quinn Ewers has as much of a maturity issue as why am I tripping? Zach Wilson. But Quinn Ewers, I think that he just has more of the on-field issues that Zach has, which is like sometimes he forces a lot of balls. But Quinn Ewers is still one of my top quarterbacks in the class. I think he might have graded out as QB2. He definitely did not. I'm trying to remember exactly where I put him, but it doesn't even matter right now. Yeah, I have Joe Milton graded, obviously Caleb Williams, but I have Quinn Ewers tied with Drake May for their overall grade. I think Quinn Ewers is awesome. Baron Sorrell, I've actually heard some very good stuff about Baron, but I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick. Cowboys do like to stay within the confines of their area / players who play teams in the DFW area, so I could definitely see Baron being on their radar. I have not seen anything about Gadsden. I'm going to be completely frank with you guys. I have not seen anything. I think there's much better wide receivers in this class, and I have watched plenty of Syracuse, so he didn't pop off to me as a first-round quality receiver. Cooper Beebe, I'm not going to blame him. He's a solid guard. Have no idea why he returned in a very weak guard class this past year. Tony Grimes out of Texas A&M. Excited to see him go there after UNC. Texas A&M does have some very, very, very good corners. And, of course, they have like 1 billion 5-stars every year. And, Tony was one of the ones who they didn't sign. But James Williams going to the Eagles, I would much rather go Kalen Bullock because I think they lack a true free safety, but James Williams is a beast. And then my boy Jerzon Newton. Y'all know I've been pounding my chest for this dude for a long time. He's a beast. He is, I believe, in my top 10 at number 7 on my board. So that's going to be the draft. Honestly, I was pissed off with the Bills thing. I thought they randomized the order, not realizing it was a trade. And I think that's perfectly fine. I just don't like some of these picks. It ended off being not as much this was a joke right here. If you took that out and then swapped it with Caleb Williams or something, I'm more than fine with how this draft played out. Barrett Carter being above Jeremiah Trotter and Jeremiah not even being in here. A little bit asinine, but, overall, we have no idea what the fuck's going to go on. So we're just trying to project here. It's always fun in games, but thank you guys always for showing your support. I've been gone for 12 days and, you guys have shown a lot of love there. Show some love to the Brett Coleman video. It's my worst video of all time in terms of what I usually get versus what I did. And, I don't care about the views, but I'm honestly saying that for your kid, if I could demonetize it just so you all would watch it, I'd do it in a heartbeat just because that was, in my opinion, my best video I've ever done. And I truly enjoyed it so much. I don't care about the money. I'm going to get an extra $2 from you guys from 1,000 people watching it. That's not my prerogative. I just think that the quality of the content that was in there was incredible. So watch it, go enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the far side. Peace.